You guys are watching NFL Daily here on Chat Sports. I am your host, Tom Downey, answering all of your questions around the NFL. First up, Cody Raines, Saints realistic quarterback options. If we're counting trades, I would go all in on a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, let's ride. I think it's a great idea. Beyond that, I think what makes the most sense is Teddy Bridgewater could be in play. Bring back Jameis Winston. Do you want to draft a Kenny Pickett, a Matt Corral, a Malik Willis? Beyond that, it's just not a great quarterback crop this year. I'm sorry. From Zachary, Tom, you take my bet that the Eagles will not make all 3 first-round picks. No. I would actually be fairly surprised if Philly didn't trade 1 or even 2 of those first-round picks for future draft capital next year. I think that would benefit them from, you probably don't want 3 guys in 1 year. You can maybe get a better pick next year if you trade down. And by the way, maybe you're not sold on Jalen Hurts, and you would want the extra first-round pick next year if you're not sold on him. For Matthew Estes, what are the realistic chances that Dallas moves away from Kellen Moore? I want to say low. I think at some level, Jerry's always been chasing the next Sean Payton, who got away from him because the timing didn't work out, right? We're going to fire Parcells. So that's certainly fair. You tried it with Jason Garrett, didn't work. Jerry loves his guys. He wants to win his way. I was in on Kellen Moore all the way after the first 7 games. Since then, how can you be in on Kellen right now? So I think low, but it's at least something. Unlike what it was, 2 months ago. I think there is a chance, which I would have said 0 even in November. From O-Town 49, should the Browns make a major trade for Calvin Ridley? I actually like this idea a lot. Ridley, of course, missed most of this year due to mental health concerns, and there's a lot of buzz out there on Calvin Ridley being traded. A lot of whispers from NFL Network, Steve Weiss, I think it was Tom Pelissero too, that says, hey, Ridley could be out. They could trade him and get big capital back. 2020 is his number 1 wide receiver production. 90 catches, 1,000, almost 400 yards, 9 touchdowns. I think Ridley, if he's in a good mental health space, is probably worth the first-round pick. Now, you might not know that for sure if you were to make a move for him in this offseason, but I think there's a real chance the Falcons say, you know what, yeah, let's look into trading Calvin Ridley, which means, by the way, receiver becomes, if it's not already, one of their top needs in this year's offseason. So what do you think? Will Calvin Ridley be traded? Y for yes, he will. N for no, he will not. This is the pinned comment on today's video. If you get the ad break here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type your Y for yes or your N for no. From Joseph Bryant, is Tua a bust? I don't think so, at least not yet. Look, he is definitely behind Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow in that draft class. And I think if the Dolphins could do it over, they would unquestionably take Herbert over Tua, although the football team would be taking Herbert at 2, so, whatever there. But I think it's too early to call Tua a bust. There's been some good. There's been some bad. You know what I think would be really helpful? An offensive line and stability at the coordinator spot. They've changed it every year. That is not easy to do. That is a concern for Miami. So, not a bust yet. Got to play better, though, moving forward if he's going to avoid that bust label. From Anif, what are the chances the Niners beat the Packers, considering that the Niners almost beat them earlier on in the season? Now the Niners are much better. I know you mean better. I think they got a chance at it. Maybe Green Bay comes out flat after the bye. Probably not. But I think they can pull it off. You need Jimmy G to not be bad in the second half. He played great in the first half. He kind of kept the Cowboys alive a little bit in that second half. The INT was pretty rough. He missed some wide-open guys. They'll have a chance. I think Shanahan will get in his bag. He'll get Deebo Samuel involved. Packers special team's not very good either. They can pull the upset. I'm going to pick Green Bay, but the Niners can do it. All right, from nightfox, Broncos quarterback options. I think you go for the trade, right? Free agency, Bridgewater Winston, that's not going to get the job done. We know that. Draft, there's been a top 10 pick on Pickett or Malik Willis or Matt Corral or Carson Strong or Desmond Ridder. Doesn't intrigue me. Go make a splash trade. Go find a worst case Jimmy Garoppolo. I think you make the playoffs if he's your quarterback, at least close to it. Ideally, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, maybe Matt Ryan's on the block, maybe Deshaun Watson's off-the-field stuff gets cleared. If I were Denver, I'm all in on a trade for a big-time QB this offseason. If you have not already, please subscribe to us here at Chat Sports. We have free videos every single day from news, rumors, head coach talk, draft, free agency trade, you name it. The offseason is where we thrive. If you want multiple videos every single day, hit that big red button and sub today. From Rashard Lee, who could replace Mike McCarthy? My overarching point when it comes to McCarthy and the Cowboys is this. I don't want to just promote the DC or OC. I think you've got valid concerns head coach-wise, more so with Quinn than his coordinator. He's a great coordinator. I don't want just a fake search. I want a real head coaching search. I don't want to be out there, sitting around saying, oh, yeah, you know what, we're just going to look at one guy and then we'll interview the minority candidate to check off that box. No. Do a real head coaching search, something you have not done since Wade Phillips. Go do a real one, because promoting from within doesn't work. You can't keep promoting and upgrading mediocrity. It's not going to work. I think Dan Quinn did a great job as DC. I think Kellen Moore still has some upside, but I'm kind of out on him. Go do a real search. If the answer is Quinn after that, okay, sure. But actually interview people. From Ghost 80, you think Denver would hire Brian Flores as their next head coach? A lot of buzz. They like Dan Quinn, but I would have interest in Brian Flores if I were Denver. I want to see what went wrong in Miami. And if I'm satisfied with the answers as to why he got fired, no problems bringing him in at that point. From Adam Page, Falcons draft Desmond Ridder. Not Riddler, you mean Ridder. It's a typo, I'm sure. Autocorrect, whatever. I would consider it, not in round one. I don't think you would take Desmond Ridder in the top 10. I think that's a huge reach. There's upside, yes. Accuracy concerns. Desmond Ridder is like the discount version, super discount version of Trey Lance. Just draft Trey Lance if you're going to go quarterback there. So, sure, draft Ridder, not in round one. Go back-to-back here from Adam Page. If Jordan Love starts next year, what are the odds for the Packers to make the playoffs? Maybe be good. The team around him should be okay. Do we fear the Lions yet? No, don't think so. The Bears get it figured out in a year? Maybe. The Vikings are going through their own coaching change. So, if we're being honest, it would be like the NFC East. Probably not that good in the end. But I think they could do it in a, I don't think, great division next year. From Jimmy Jersey, can the Vikings trade for Mike Tomlin? Technically, yes. I know that Tomlin was the Vikings DC for a year. I would not get your hopes up if I were Minnesota. Look, NFL trades of head coaches are profoundly rare. And, Tomlin's done a fantastic job in Pittsburgh, so why would Pittsburgh give up on him? Unless Tomlin says, I don't want to be here, get me out of here. Okay, but is Minnesota really where he ends up going? I don't think that's the best job this year. So, fun idea. You can call if you want. I wouldn't assume that happens whatsoever. So, speaking of head coaches, as rare as this did happen most recently, Bruce Arians technically got traded. It was really more of he retired. The Bucs got him. The contract was there, so they had to make it work, whatever. Will a head coach be dealt this year? 1 for yes or 0 for no. If you guys want free videos every single day on the NFL, hit that big red button and subscribe. Chat Sports is your home in the offseason for all the latest NFL news and rumors. Madwolph, I think that's how that's pronounced there. Who should the Seahawks go get this offseason and draft? That's a better question for our Seahawks channel, youtube.com/SeahawksTV, where we've got a bunch of content and videos up there for you guys. Briefly, O-line help. Figure out what you're doing with Russ Wilson. Make him happy. Keep him. I think that'd be the best path if I were in charge there. Figure out your corner spot. Your two best guys are free agents and, first-round picks. So I think free agency, so I have to make some impacts there. Adjust some big contracts. Bring down Russell's cap hit. Either extend him in the future to keep him cheaper, or you got to trade him. And I think you can make the extension happen if you just make him happy. From Jacob Rawleigh, I want the Ravens to trade up and get Charles Cross. How much would a trade up cost? All right, folks, time to bust out the NFL trade value chart here. Now, the Ravens, as things sit right now, have the number 14 overall pick. I think you'd have to jump into at least the top 10. I'm worried about the Giants and Cardinals, the 5 to 7 picks really being in your way. The Browns and Minnesota, maybe Washington, Jets, Denver, could you tackle those? So let's say you got to get up to at least number 8. You got to trade in the end with the Atlanta Falcons. I think the most likely trade that you would be able to pull off is probably packaging your first-round pick and your second-round pick. Using the trade value chart, that gets you to about the Giants at 7. So maybe you get a day 3 pick back, but I think your 1 and your 2 is what you would have to move to guarantee you get Charles Cross if he's on the board beyond the top 5. Todd Wise, best GM/head coach for the Raiders. It's a good question. I mean, if you can pull off Jim Harbaugh, I think you go do it. GM-wise, GMs are weird because the ones we have heard of are oftentimes the guys who are on TV. We've heard of Mike Mayock. We know who Louis Riddick is. If I tell you who Monty Ossenford is outside of Tennessee, you're going to go, who the hell's that guy? He's a good GM candidate, though. Adam Peters in San Francisco. There's a lot of good GMs out there, so potential GMs, I think. So I think to get Harbaugh, it's your head coach. GM-wise, do your interviews. Pick the one you trust the most. It's a cop-out answer, but still. Pass master, Odds, Akers, Hopkins, and Watt all play. This is a super chat. Thank you. Watt's playing. Akers is playing. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is, so 0 on that one. But thank you for the super chat, Pass master. Timmy Todd, do the Broncos really hire Dan Quinn or go offensive-minded? It is unusual to see an organization go 3 straight defensive-minded guys from Vance Joseph to Vic Fangio to Dan Quinn. But remember, it's GM, George Payton. He didn't hire those first 2 guys. And I think he likes Dan Quinn, has liked Dan Quinn for a long time. So if you get a quarterback in a trade, I think you'll end up being okay. We're almost regardless of who you are. Like, if you get Aaron Rodgers, you're going to be able to win football games. Like, that's who Aaron Rodgers is. So if you can bring in Luke Getsy as his OC, okay, that's fine. But I think you should be open to exploring non-defensive guys. For the most part, what they've been doing, but a lot of buzz around Dan Quinn at Denver. Who do you think is the best NFL head coach candidate? Sound off for me in the comment section. Drop a name. It could be a college guy if you want, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments section.